going on, Jeromes? So I know I'm lagging on some of these full contract breakdowns. Like we haven't talked about Murph yet. Now, when open free agency hits, like we always say, wait until the full contract details come out, because initially there's always going to be a little bit of sticker shock. It's like, oh, it's how much? But guarantees are what matter. Cash flow is what matters, as well as cap hits are what matters, right? And Will Fry's coming over from the Colts, which I don't know, I feel like I'm burnt out on Fry's jokes already. We'll give it time. But Will Fry's, so I love that he wore a suit to his signing. None of the other guys wore a suit. It's like that uncle who went to the birth of his nephew and wore a suit because you never have a chance to make a second chance to make a first impression. Something like that. Also, he met with Jumpin' John Randall, the pride Texas A&M Kingsville, the greatest pass rushing defensive tackle of all time. Woo! Love to see him, man. But I don't know, like Will Fry's got some money now. We need a Taylor all up in this beat. He kind of looks like Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, which the moment I knew watching Breaking Bad that I knew that this was going to be one of the greatest TV series of all time is when Jesse and Walt were sitting in the car talking about getting a lawyer. And Jesse was like, you don't need a criminal lawyer. You need a criminal lawyer. That's what I knew. Better Call Saul is really good too. Anyways, Will Fry's full contract details. So initially reported as a 5-year, $88 million deal. 5-year, $87.72 million. $34 million guaranteed. $20 million signing bonus. Only a $6 million cap hit in 2025. Now, looking at Hargrave and Murph as well as Jonathan Allen's contracts, like Vikings and Rob Brzezinski. They're definitely pushing cap hits away from 2025. It seems like they're saving up for one more move. Don't know. But I know that people are freaking out. Well, what about 2026? What about it? All right, so the cap is going to keep going up precipitously. You can always restructure these contracts. You can kick the can. You can take the hits. Also, hey, any cap that isn't spent in 2025 rolls over. Right, so say the Vikings don't do that huge deal later on. Like they can still roll over that cap space. So you're going to be good to go. But basically, it's a 2-year, $35.22 million deal, which there's always escape hatches for a lot of these contracts. And with Fry's, I don't know why Fry's signed a 5-year deal. Like, the longer the contract goes, the more advantageous it is for the team, because his base salaries, 2027, the next 3 years, they're not guaranteed outside of 10 in 2027, which we'll talk about. So basically, you have the team. The team has full control, non-guaranteed salaries. Salary by then is going to be below market. So I never understand it. Like they say it's financial security, except it really isn't. Like you could lop off the last 2 years of Fry's contract, and this could be a lean, mean 3-year deal with the same guarantees and the same cash flow. But I don't know. Anyways, well, first off, if I was an NFL agent and if you had a player that's going to be in demand, if you let them sign any contract more than 3 years, you should have your license revoked. Anyways, that's an argument for another day. But 2025 and 2026 base salaries are fully guaranteed. $10 million of his 2027 base becomes guaranteed on the third day of the new league year, 2027. Also gets half a million in per game active bonuses. I like that Kwesi has done a lot of that in the contracts, where active per game bonuses. So you have to be on the active game day 46 to get that cash. So that does protect the downside of potential injuries. $1.5 million in annual incentives. They weren't announced, but I'm sure that's something to do with Pro Bowls, team success, pass protection rate, etc. And for Fry's, so it's a good deal for Fry's. He is the ninth highest paid guard in the NFL right now by average at 17.544. Now, what's interesting is that, so Aaron Banks is 6, a free agent going over from San Francisco to the Packers. Packers overpaid, and Will Fry's is a better player, but I don't know. Also, what's interesting is that, so Cosmi, Mainers, and Jenkins of the Commies, Broncos, and Packers, respectively. It's about similar ballpark of the Will Fry's contract in terms of guarantees as well as rolling average. And Fry's was an open free agent, so generally those contracts are a little bit more expensive. But Cosmi, Mainers, and Jenkins were all in-house, so props to Kwesi. Like basically, he got. Because in-house free agents, sometimes they take a little, especially if they're taken care of a little bit early. But Fry's as an open free agent, makes a ton of sense, and frankly was a steal, especially given the 5 years. But overall, I think it's a smart move. Vikings shore up one of their positions of need with the best open market guard since Trey Smith was franchise tag. So I think it was a good move. The Vikings were aggressive getting this thing done. There's a lot of demand for Will Fries. Reportedly, 5 teams were in him. Vikings got their guy. Now they took care of him. It's a smart contract. The team protects himself if Fries doesn't live up to the deal. So we can just move on and go from there. But he's going to whip somebody's ass. That's right. Your thoughts are thoughts. Will Fries full contract details. Let us know. Comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.